we are going to start with the discussion that is digital education in pandemic. Is India still prepared? So we know गए एक साल से we are suffering from this corona pandemic. हमने लास्ट मंथ में ही उसकी एक बरसी भी मनाई है कोरोना की, and same time we are suffering from so many digital issues. So it is there in education, it is there in our day to day life. और उसके बीच में हम आज बात करना चाहेंगे कि एजुकेशन में इसका क्या अच्छा असर, क्या बुरा असर हुआ है. एंड फॉर दैट डिस्कशन वी हैव मिस पारुल दावल, शी इज साइकोलॉजिस्ट बाय प्रोफेशन. देन नेहा कवात्रा मैम, शी इज टीचर. देन जालिंदर सरोदे जो एजुकेशनलिस्ट है, टीचर है, एंड बहुत सारा एजुकेशन के बारे में उन्होंने काम किया है. So before pandemic and in pandemic also he has written so many articles and blogs, and he is very renowned, we can say, educationalist. Then Dr. Tandeep Kaur, she is there, so she is parent, she is joining from Jammu Kashmir. And Sadia Sheikh, she is student, she is representing student from Mumbai and Bihar area. सो एक वी कैन से कि एक अपना हमने बहुत सारे जगह से एक क्रॉस सेक्शन लेने की कोशिश की है कि हमें पता चले कि आज की तारीख में एक साल बाद, कोरोना के एक साल बाद भी हम डिजिटल एजुकेशन में कहीं पीछे तो नहीं या फिर कहीं हम आगे तो बढ़े नहीं. बिकॉज वी आर ऑल्सो फेसिंग सेम प्रॉब्लम. वाई? बिकॉज जहां हम आज भी इकट्ठा आकर फेस टू फेस कम्युनिकेशन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. So we are also facing the same problem. So when we people are facing this problem, it means students who are sitting at their home and they want to learn, they want to bring some new idea, but some limitations are there. और उसके पीछे की जो कुछ जानकारी है वो आज जानने की हम पूरी कोशिश करेंगे. So I request Amreen ma'am, President of Universal Reach Foundation. So please ma'am, give your welcoming address. Amreen ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sagar sir, and it is indeed my pleasure and privilege to be proposing the welcome address for this very topic, where we are going to be discussing about how has the digital India coped up with the entire mechanism of a pandemic and to per se the digital education as that. So obviously, whenever we used to talk of digital education, the very first thing we used to think was, we wanted to have classrooms that were smart. So the concept of having smart classes definitely, did make its way, and every school and colleges we could see that, they were evolving and changing. Nobody ever thought that, there would come a time where we would be restricted to our own homes and we will have to make do with whatever technological support that, maybe we used for recreational facilities. And to say about Mumbai and the people in Mumbai, I don't think so, we ever had the concept of work from home was more of a leisure for us. But I am sure that, this 1 year has taught us the advantages and disadvantages of work from home. And with that, we saw that, the entire anxiety that was built around, where we didn't know when schools were going to begin, when colleges were going to reopen. And the anxiety is still there even today. But then, I think the dialogue at this moment is very much needed, because, are we moving to the right direction? Is something that, is the biggest question mark. Are we just, having students today whom we are passing and, moving them to the next year, but are we actually evolving? And that's why, this entire panel discussion today is, to come or derive to an answer that is India actually prepared? And that is why, we have used the term still, because we always think we are ready, but we see to it that, as time passes, we are never able to match up. So I feel that, the panelists today over here we have tried to bring a varied one, because, everybody will give their insights, and we will see to it that, what are the solutions that we can move towards. I think that is very important. And not taking up a lot of the time, I would hand over the session to Seema Tiwari ma'am and moderate the session. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Amreen. Thank you, Sagar. And a very warm welcome to each and every one of you who have joined this discussion, and also to all the panelists. As Amreen ji mentioned, that this panel today is really we thought that how should we bring about people from across India So we have panel from all across India today joining, although we are 5-6 of us today here, but people who are listening us across all social media platforms and after this, surely we are still wondering that is India still prepared for digital education? Because every time we mention digital India, it comes in our mind that digital shopping or paying through digital way or just connecting digitally through social media, but we never thought that digital education will be so much today. This we realized when we faced a challenge, when we faced trapped when COVID-19 pandemic struck last year. So this COVID crisis has definitely shown us that we have always to be prepared for the worst. We always think for the best, but who is going to prepare for the worst? And when we felt that we are trapped in this particular challenge, when we were trapped at home for 2-3 months, no one was allowed to go. The schools and colleges, everything, all house and all workplaces were shut down. So house was a place where everything was getting formulated and we were working from home. We were doing a lot of things from home. But one thing that got stuck very badly was education. It took a lot of time for the educators to understand how do we bring about the way of learning, which is very helpful to the teachers, to the students and the parents. Between all these things, we also saw that the final year students were stuck with their final year exams. At the same time, many schools, kids from grade 1 to 10, from grade 11 to 12, they were preparing for the exams, for the board exams. Few children did give their board exams, few were not able to give last 2 to 3 papers. Um, the schools got shut all of a sudden, so everyone was like, how will the exams happen? So they were passed according to their previous records. But all this was not the solution. We were still thinking that how are we going to handle this situation? Although many people faced job cuts, salary cuts, many people lost their jobs. In between all these things, education was still rocking on mind that how do we teach our students? How do we teach our children? So it was the time when we came out with this way of digital education, although as Amrin ma'am did tell that it was there, but it reduced to schools and colleges. And teachers were on training for the month of May. They were learning themselves how education will be going online. Once they did that, it came to us as a parent, as a teacher, as a student. We all were into all this, a kind of circus of learning and understanding. Still, many parents had problems that how do we cope? We are not able to join. We don't have Wi-Fi. We don't have devices. We don't have the kind of infrastructure, or we don't have a dedicated place at home for a child where he or she is not getting disturbed to study. So all these things were there. The situation still continues to be there. So the question arises, are we still prepared? And in between all these things, as an independent journalist, when I used to meet people, I traveled to Uttar Pradesh last month, many things I faced there. There were no Wi-Fi connections. The data packages were also not sufficient. The telecom industries who were offering their services, many of them failed to offer what they were asked to deliver, what they promised to deliver. They failed. So in between all these things, what I noticed, again, the students there were really suffering. The question that parents still ask, when are the schools going to open, or are we going to still learn online? So still the question is, are we prepared? So this question, I want to give it to a parent from Jammu and Kashmir, Dr. Tandeep Kaur Datta. She is lecturer at IDS Dental College, Jammu, a parent of a genius and a vibrant boy, Arjun Veer Singh. He is a student of Air Force School in Jammu and is studying in grade 5. He is quite vibrant student, and to understand such students who are always on their toes, they want to do so many things at one go. How have you as a parent tried to cope with this situation? What were your challenges? How you changed according to the situation? Would like to know from you, Tandeep.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak on this topic. So let's start. Over times, we have seen transition from blackboard to whiteboard and now to digital classrooms, courtesy to COVID-19. Now the question arises, are we prepared for this thing? Is online education, are we able to give justice to online education? Is online education better substitute to normal education? we have to understand one thing: transition from teacher class-based classrooms to digital education needs multi-pronged efforts over time. I belong to that part of India where online education is like struggling hard to get connected. Many a times, youngsters are seen shuttling between different rooms of the house in the hope that they might get connected or they might get good connection, internet connection. So they keep shuttling from one room to another. Yes, you are rightly understood. I'm talking about Jammu and Kashmir. At a time when the country has access to 4G high-speed internet, Jammu and Kashmir is suffering discriminated against all these facilities, like basic access to mobile telephony and internet. Uncertainty is the only certainty when it comes to connectivity and online classes in Jammu and Kashmir. Since the application of Article 370, the student community of Jammu and Kashmir has suffered immensely due to double whammy of communication blackouts and educational institutions shut for infinity. Teaching and learning in the UT has reduced to recording audios and video clips and sharing them with students on WhatsApp, and that too will take hours to get download. A video clip of 10 to 15 minutes might take days to download. And both teachers as senders and students as receivers might wait for hours to upload or download that audio clip of 25 to 30 MB over WhatsApp using limited speed of 2G internet, while rest of the country is using 4G, and we here in J&K are using 2G internet. Often security-related issue is given reason for non-restoration of 4G internet. Some even knock doors of experts to get high-speed internet facility, but they just fail to get that. Now, question often people in Jammu ask, ID security is concerned in Kashmir. So why people in Jammu are devoid of this facility? Why Jammuites are held hostage to problem in Kashmir? So far, no one has given any appropriate answer to this valid and genuine question. Many of my friends who are teachers, they often complain that they are tremendously grieved because of poor internet speed and they are not able to communicate with their students because of this poor internet speed. It is unfortunate to see Apex Court's refusal to pass any order to restore 4G internet services in the state. The court has left the decision to the Union Ministry, which in the first place has imposed the restrictions and does not intend to lift it anytime soon. While the political unrest has meant that education is to suffer at the hands of restrictions, internet shutdowns and curfews, and pandemic has taken a toll on those students as well as who have returned to their homes in J&K following the closure of their institutions and universities. They now cannot participate in any online classes and webinars, unlike rest of their classmates. Similarly, the media and mainstream political voices of the country need to be questioned on their silence on the selective discrimination faced by citizens of their own country. While appreciating the need to ensure security in the volatile region, it is not in the interest of the nation to keep the students and the youth of Jammu and Kashmir cut off from the rest of the country and deny them opportunities by exacerbating the digital divide. Thank you.
So Tandeep, how has Arjun Veer and you as a parent both tried to overcome this situation? What solution did you derive by yourself to face this unprecedented situation and study during COVID-19? And we all hope that the school really opens, but will the school follow all those norms, those protocols? Because still the vaccination, we are seeing that it is in trial mode. So a lot of questions must be there on your mind. From here, how do you see the next coming 6 months or a year from here?
To be honest, me as a parent, I'm still scared to send my child to school. And moreover, as you know, this internet connectivity in our state is poor. Me as a parent, I have tried to learn with my child, because it was not easy for me as well as my child to get used to this new something new. It was new for me as well. It was not something which was I was used to it. So I've learned things with my son as well. This is what I've learned.
So we hope when this recording reaches to the right kind of ears, they do something, some solutions do derive for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, where people are struggling with 2G. And this is what the discussion is all about, that if we say one India, then everything has to be one equally on all platforms. After this pandemic, what we understood was education, health, these two things were really very important. When education online came, so came the health situation online. Health situation has been okay, but now education is still pending. So what are the solutions for this online education from here on? How do we take online education if the situation continues to be like this? So for this, we go to Neha Kawatra. She's teacher with IB Secondary and a maths teacher from last 13 years. For 11 years, she's been associated with Ecole Mondale School, and now she's with international school, that is Oberoi International School. Both happen to be in Mumbai. And of course, she is privileged to teach to the privileged class with all facilities and resources here in Mumbai. So Neha, as a teacher, how do you feel from classroom, teacher classroom to online classroom? What changes, challenges have you accepted? How did you give your mind this thinking that, okay, now I don't have to call out the name of the student or go and personally look into the book, what they are writing? How do I communicate with students online when you see their cameras are off, when their mics are muted? How do you communicate? How have you faced the challenges? How have you changed? Although the situation remains continued, that still we are questioning, is India still prepared? So how are you thinking about all this situation? What solution?
Thank you, Seema. Thank you. Ms. Datta, I really empathize with what you just said. And honestly, I should be, I don't know, sorry about it. I'm at the other tail end. So where you're struggling with the connectivity issues and resources and every facilities, I'm at the other tail end where I'm sitting right in middle of the Mumbai city with the students who have got all the facilities available, all of them. We would have the best internet facility, we would have Wi-Fi's, we would have everything possible. But the question is still the same. Are the students wanting this? Are the teachers wanting this? I mean, when we have everything, are we still okay with it? I'm not. I'm honestly not okay with this. I have a son who's 7-year-old. I'm not okay with this online education for him or for me as a teacher. Now, I'll tell you why. Now, I have been in Mumbai as an IB math teacher for over 13 years, been with the privileged class, been with the students who can afford everything. It's all honestly been a dream come true for me, except this last 1 year, when honestly the phrase circuit breaker made its mark for me. All circuits were broken for me. I mean, sitting inside a house, a 2 BHK with my husband, my son, me, all handling our work together in one room has been a nightmare. I mean, we've fought over the study table, who's going to get it now? So it's not been easy. It's genuinely not been easy. Though everything is going on normal in schools, like we say, the new normal, but the classes, the fee structures, hopefully the salaries are all going normal according to everybody. One aspect which, Seema, I definitely would like to emphasize here that this online education has missed out is our well-being. Now, the well-being of our students and our teachers. And that's the part I think this whole online education is missing the most. I understand in a class, when I used to stand in a class and teach, my lessons used to go beyond what I had decided to teach, or used to be cut out short because I could see them. I could feel that, yes, they are with me. With this online education, I do not get any assessment of my child. I mean, I'm struggling to understand what they are feeling at this time. And that is my worry as a teacher. My teaching was based on the feeling, the vibe of the room. And the vibe is killed with this Wi-Fi wire, honestly. So, but you know, I actually do not blame 2020 because I really feel that this 2020 actually gave us an opportunity. It gave us a very wide chance to prove ourselves this time. So it was a chance to make our, I call them, or some people in my school also call them, the factory owners, which are our parents and the school management. They should have realized that the machines, which are the students and the teachers, become better holistically. I mean, they become an overall asset and not just produce numbers. So I was thinking 2020 will give us an opportunity for that. I'll tell you how. Now, this 2020 was a year of emotions. It was a year of adaptability and also a year of challenges. Now, it could have been a game changer. Honestly, according to me, it could have been a game changer, especially for the Indian education. Now, I teach IB, okay, and but for Indian students with Indian parents, for whom IB also is like getting grades in their academic subjects. And honestly, I'm the fortunate one whose subject tops the list. I teach mathematics. So Indian parents, for them, the math scores are like the key to everything in life beyond. So my struggle, honestly, in this era, in this time, has not been teaching. It has been my assessments. How do I assess the child in this feature? I can teach. Let me be, let my students be. We both are together. We all understand that there is no other way out to this at the moment. I will teach them. They will learn. But that whole part of the assessment, when it comes into the picture, I feel that is where the problem starts. Now, you know, as a parent and a teacher, the struggle I went through to balance. Now, I keep telling myself that, yes, Neha, you have balanced something. This has made me realize two things. Now, the first one, I'll ask all the parents who are here, when we go to the PTMs of our child, what are the two main things we want to hear? Anybody who wishes to answer, please go ahead. What are the two main things? If you've gone to a PTM for your child, what would you want to hear?
I would like to hear how my child is performing.
Yes, exactly. So there are two major things as a teacher. If I tell that to a parent, they are very happy. That keeps them calm. You see a glow on their face. I'll tell you two main things. First, your child is doing really well. That's the first. And the second one, he is very good and a well-behaved child. Now, according to me, this year was a year of the latter. I mean, we were looking at the behavior of the child. We should have been looking at the behavior, the performance of the child that way and not by the grades. So the judgment or assessment should not have been based on the topics taught in class, but how the bigger challenge which the teachers faced, it should have been based on that, the behavior in online classes. Now, we all know this was not the time where we could have struggled that, yes, we can't do online, so let's just stop it. With my scenario, I couldn't say that. But what should have changed for us was that the assessments should be only formative. And by that, I insist, and I mean by that when we attach an exam and a grade to all our teaching and learning, everything goes in vain, especially in this scenario. Now, if I'm taking a class and if every third lesson I discuss, I quiz, I play the learning that has happened, that puts the onus on the kids and not on me, not on the parents. The reports of the teachers, according to me, should have had for this special year criteria like the engagement in online learning, the use of mic and cameras in online learning, and not getting a 4 or 5 in the math or science. Now, honestly, the education board needs to collectively decide for all boards, according to me, not IB, not CBSE, not that there should be no final exams. The teacher gets the authority to assess a student internally. Now, I'll tell you, IB has been in occupation since 1968. This was the first year in IB, the final exams of grade 12 were cancelled. And what were they assessed on? And how did my students go to universities? They all are in universities at the moment. My grade 12 last year students all are studying in universities. And that's the only way they got into universities for my predicted grades and their internal assessments throughout the year. So this is what I want to propose as a solution to this online teaching, where we think about our teachers and the students' well-being, ease them out a little bit, let 2020 rest in peace, and have an education which is more formative, which is more assessment for learning and not of learning. Now
Right,
that,
Neha.
yes.
So
that
the solution,
sorry.
yeah. So the solution that you are giving, it has to be more formative, not rota type of learning, not the
Exactly.
same classroom and teacher, not the same long answers learning, because now students are getting adapted to MCQs. They are more of quiz. So here we have a student with us, Neha. Her name is Sadia Sheikh, and she's studying sociology and literature, doing her BA. So bachelor's in arts. So let us listen from her that as a student, what she feels that this online studying pattern, the new normal that has come to the student's life as well, how are they coping? How are her classmates coping? I know how she is coping at an individual level, and how she feels that what things as a student she feels needs to get changed, what she likes about online, what she does not, and is she happy with online way of learning? Is India prepared according to her for online way of learning? What is her inputs on this? Let's listen to Sadia say. So
Okay.
Neha is a teacher. She made so many important points as a teacher, what she feels that is India still prepared, and what are the problems or what are the challenges that she faced and is continuing to deliver to her students, but still she feels that something is lagging on online education, which needs to get sorted with many people. So you as a student, what do you feel? Online education, how are you going through? What was your entire year? How it has been so far? And do you feel that still the online education should continue?
So, well, according to me, I think, you know, like, जितना भी एक्सपीरियंस मेरा अभी 1 साल में हुआ है, मैं बिहार में मैं गई, फिर बिहार से वापस मैं मुंबई आई, और उस बीच जितने मतलब काफी सारे डिस्टर्बेंस थे इस पैंडेमिक के बीच में, तो इट वाज सो डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू अटेंड अ लेक्चर, और लेक्चर अगर अटेंड भी कर लिया हमने तो जो और भी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स है हमारे घर में है, या लाइक कभी पैंडेमिक की वजह से फाइनेंशियली प्रॉब्लम हुआ, एक घर में ही इतने सारे लोग पूरे 24 घंटे रह रहे हैं, ये सारी स्पेस नहीं मिल रहा है हम लोगों को, तो ये सारी ऐसी बातें जो हमारे दिमाग में मतलब बैठ गई थी पूरी तरीके से, और बहुत ही अनकंफर्टेबल हो रहा था, और एक तरह का स्ट्रेस बन रहा था। तो ये मतलब लेक्चर्स होते थे, हम लोग सुनते भी थे लेक्चर्स, और लेकिन जो समझ हम लोग एक दूसरे के सामने, टीचर्स के सामने बैठ के जो समझ होती थी हम लोग की, वैसी अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो हम लोग को ऑनलाइन लेक्चर्स में नहीं हो पाता था, क्योंकि इसके बहुत सारे रीजंस है। लेकिन मेरे पास इंटरनेट कनेक्शन अच्छा होता था, मैं गांव में भी थी तो भी इंटरनेट कनेक्शन मेरा अच्छा था, और मुंबई में भी। बट जो किसी किसी को ऐसा होता है कि उनको बहुत ही सेफ प्लेस चाहिए होता है बैठने के लिए, जहाँ पे किसी तरह का डिस्टर्बेंस ना हो, अच्छे से बातें समझने के लिए उनको इतने ये सारी चीजों की जरूरत होती है। लेकिन अब जिसका घर छोटा है, या रूम छोटा है, या फिर एक घर में बहुत सारे लोग रह रहे हैं, या घर में छोटे बच्चे हैं, तो बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट होता है, और फिर ध्यान इधर उधर लग जाता है। हम ध्यान से समझने की कोशिश करते हैं लेकिन नहीं समझ पाते, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है। फिर और जैसे कि मैं बिहार गई थी, बिहार में अभी काफी फ्लड भी आया था और बारिश बहुत ज्यादा हुई थी, जिसकी वजह से 2-2, 3-3 दिन तक लाइट चली जाती थी। हमारा लेक्चर मिस हो जाता था, उसके बाद कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि वापस से अगर वो हमें समझना हो तो हमें समझा देंगे या नहीं, क्योंकि लेक्चर्स भी कभी होते थे कभी नहीं होते थे। प्लस और एक और बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हम लोग ने जो फेस किया वो नोट्स का था कि सारे नोट्स ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल होते थे, ऑफलाइन हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं था। और ऑनलाइन हर कोई नहीं ऑनलाइन पढ़ पाता है। रीडिंग में भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है ऑनलाइन रीड करने में। वो जो पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में जब आता है वो बहुत ही छोटे छोटे इसमें लिखा रहता है और प्रॉब्लम होती है। और जब हम उसका प्रिंट आउट निकालते हैं तो अभी पैंडेमिक में जब हमने नोट्स का प्रिंट आउट निकाला तो पर पेज 15 रुपीज, और वही नोट्स जब हम कॉलेज में थे और हम कॉलेज में लेते थे तो पर पेज 1 रुपीज लगता था जेरोक्स का। तो इतना डिफरेंस हो गया था फाइनेंशियल इसमें भी। तो हमें एक एक नोट्स निकालने के लिए भी सोचना पड़ रहा था, इतना वो डिफिकल्ट टाइम था। फाइनेंशियली भी हम बहुत प्रॉब्लम में थे उस टाइम। लेकिन पढ़ाई है तो सबसे पहले इसी को आगे रखना है, तो ऑब्वियसली इतना तो घर वाले समझ रहे थे तो इसके लिए पूरा कर रहे थे। बट मुझे अंदर से बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा था और बहुत ही मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि किसको ब्लेम करना है। हमारी गवर्नमेंट बोलती है कि कंट्री डेवलप होना चाहिए या डिजिटल इंडिया की बात करती है, तो ये सारी चीजें हमें कब समझ आती है जब ऐसा कोई पैंडेमिक आता है या कोई हेल्थ क्राइसिस आता है, डिजास्टर आता है, तब हमें समझ आता है कि हमारा कंट्री जो है वो कितना डेवलप्ड है, यहाँ कितना गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम्स जो है वो कितनी काम कर रही है। और ये मेरा मानना है कि किसी भी कंट्री को अगर हम डेवलप करना चाहते हैं तो बेसिक जो चीज है उसकी बुनियाद हम बोल सकते हैं वो एजुकेशन है, वो हेल्थ है, हेल्थ सिस्टम है जो बहुत स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए। लेकिन हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है, हमारा हेल्थ सिस्टम भी उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है। ये अभी हमें पैंडेमिक में पता चल गया। हेल्थ पे तो अभी काम लेकिन फिर भी चल रहा था, बट एजुकेशन पे कोई ध्यान ही नहीं दिया। मतलब पैंडेमिक में सब ठीक है, हमारा हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इतना सही नहीं था तो सब उस पे काम करने लगे, लेकिन एजुकेशन के बारे में कोई पूछा ही नहीं कि बच्चे पढ़ कैसे रहे, या पढ़ भी पा रहे हैं या नहीं पढ़ पा रहे, कोई हमसे पूछने वाला नहीं है। हमारे पेरेंट्स को है कि लेक्चर क्यों नहीं अटेंड कर रहे हो, चिल्लाएंगे कि लेक्चर अटेंड करो। वो नहीं समझ पाते हैं कि हम क्यों नहीं अटेंड कर रहे, या अटेंड भी कर रहे तो हमें चीजें क्यों नहीं समझ में आ रही है। वो क्योंकि हमारे और उनके बीच जो जनरेशन गैप है तो वो उन चीजों को बहुत कम पेरेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं आप लोगों की तरह जो समझ सकते हैं, बट मेरे पेरेंट्स ऐसे नहीं है जो ये समझ पाए रीजन इसके पीछे कि क्यों मैं लेक्चर अटेंड नहीं कर रही हूँ। वो तो ये सोचेंगे कि मेरे पास नेट भी है, मेरे पास जगह भी है, फिर मैं क्यों नहीं लेक्चर अटेंड कर रही हूँ।
तो क्या आपने कभी ये पहल की अपने पेरेंट्स को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए कि क्या स्ट्रेस, आप किस स्ट्रेस से जा रहे हो, क्या नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, आप क्या चाहते हो कि क्या होना चाहिए? आपने कभी डिस्कस किया अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ या अपने क्लास टीचर्स के साथ या किसी मेंटर के साथ?
मैंने मेरे पेरेंट्स के साथ डिस्कस नहीं किया है क्योंकि उन्हें दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड एंड बट स्टिल मैं उनसे जो बात करती हूँ उनको मैं समझाने की कोशिश करती हूँ, लेकिन मैंने एजुकेशन पे बात नहीं
तो
की।
आज अगर आप अपने पेरेंट्स से नहीं बात कर पा रही हो, नहीं आपको लग रहा है कि यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल, तो आज इस प्लेटफॉर्म के जरिए आप ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन, आज की जो एजुकेशन की परिस्थिति है देश में, स्टूडेंट्स क्या फेस कर रहे हैं, आप क्या बोलना चाहती हैं? क्या आपके पास सॉल्यूशंस है और क्या चैलेंजेस है जो आप आज एड्रेस करना चाहती हैं?
ये जो आपने बोला था कि मैं अपने पेरेंट्स से बात नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, वो तो इसलिए क्योंकि आई नो कि उनसे बात करके मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो समझेंगे नहीं और वो मेरी प्रॉब्लम को मुझे नहीं लगता कि दूर कर पाएंगे। बट यस, हमने टीचर से जरूर बात किया है, इस पे डिबेट भी किया है और उनको हमने बताया कि अगर हम ऑनलाइन क्लासेस करना भी चाहते हैं ना तो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में प्रॉब्लम ये होती है कि हर किसी के पास भी फैसिलिटीज नहीं होती है जो हमारे पास है या आपके पास है। तो अगर इस पे गवर्नमेंट को काम करने की जरूरत है। जो बजट एजुकेशन का है वो बहुत ही कम है हमारे इंडिया में, उससे और बढ़ाना चाहिए। और अगर वो डिजिटल इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो डिजिटल एजुकेशन के लिए भी उनको तैयारी करना चाहिए। जैसे क्योंकि अभी पैंडेमिक की वजह से हमको पता चला कि हमको फिजिकली स्कूल अटेंड नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो हम अगर ऑनलाइन भी करें तो किस तरह से करें। स्टार्टिंग में बहुत टीचर्स को भी प्रॉब्लम हुई, एप्लीकेशंस न्यू थे, उनको स्टार्ट करने में, चलाने में, उसको किस तरह यूज किया जाता है। फिर हमें भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम हुआ। अब जिसके घर में छोटे बच्चे हैं तो छोटा बच्चा कैसे अटेंड करेगा और उसको कैसे समझेगा कि टीचर क्या पढ़ा रही है। नहीं, काफी सारे डिफिकल्टीज थी और हमने फ्रेंड्स में भी ये बातें की, क्योंकि
यानी अगर मैं ये कहना चाहूँ सादिया, ये जो परिस्थिति हमारे ऊपर अचानक से आई और जो एजुकेशन ऑनलाइन हम पे थोप दिया गया, कुछ पहले से करना चाहिए था, कुछ जरूरी था। गवर्नमेंट को पहले से कुछ 1 महीने या 2 महीने की टीचर्स और स्टूडेंट्स को, पेरेंट्स को, सबको ट्रेनिंग देनी चाहिए थी, ये आपका कहना है। और आप
नहीं नहीं, मेरा ये कहना नहीं है कि देनी चाहिए थी। देखिए, ऐसा कुछ वाला है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट की ये जिम्मेदारी किसी भी डेवलप करने के लिए उसका जो बेसिक ये है, मैं उसे एजुकेशन और हेल्थ समझती
तो
हूँ।
अगर आज अगर न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की बात अगर सरकार कर रही है, तो सरकार को सबसे पहले ये ध्यान देना होगा कि सभी बच्चों के क्या पूरी इंडिया में ये कनेक्शन है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इंटरनेट कनेक्शन है, 4G 5G की बात हो रही है, 4G प्रॉपर पूरे इंडिया में है कि नहीं। सेकंड, डिवाइसेस हैं या नहीं लोगों के पास, पढ़ने की जगह घर में है कि नहीं। तो ये सारी चीजों को सिर्फ पॉलिसी लाने से कुछ नहीं होगा, लेकिन पॉलिसी का जो मेन बैकग्राउंड है, क्या वो तैयार है इंडिया के लिए। सो इज इंडिया स्टिल प्रिपेयर्ड, ये सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन आज इसलिए हम पूछ रहे हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं सरकार को या पॉलिसी मेकर्स को इन सारी बातों का ध्यान देना पड़ेगा कि क्या घर में जगह है उस तरह से कंसंट्रेट करने के लिए। सेकेंड, अगर घर में है नहीं है, लेकिन उसके अलावा क्या डिवाइसेस है तो फिर क्या इंटरनेट कनेक्शन है। तो ये सारी चीजें हैं जो इस न्यू पॉलिसी में गवर्नमेंट को ग्रास रूट लेवल पे भी ध्यान देना होगा। और अगर हम और बात करें तो इस वक्त हमारे साथ जलिंदर सोडी सर हैं। ये प्रेसिडेंट है मुंबई ग्रेजुएट फोरम के, चीफ वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट है शिक्षा भारती के, और ब्लॉगर हैं। ही राइट्स ऑन वेरियस एजुकेशन इश्यूज, और इन दिनों इन्होंने बहुत से इश्यूज पे भी बात किया है, ब्लॉग किया है, लिखा है। जलिंदर सर सोडी सर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। वी वेलकम यू फॉर दिस डिस्कशन टुडे। आज जैसे अभी सादिया ने कहा और जैसे अभी नेहा ने बात की, जैसे तनदीप ने कहा, तनदीप पेरेंट हैं। जम्मू कश्मीर एक ऐसे स्टेट से जहां इंटरनेट अभी भी बहुत बड़ी चैलेंज है। नेहा ने बताया कि क्या हेल्थ इश्यूज हैं और क्या स्ट्रगल्स हैं उनके लिए। उसके बाद सादिया का कहना है कि ऑनलाइन इतना प्रॉब्लम रहा है उनके लिए कि कभी फ्लड आ गया तो कनेक्शन नहीं है, कभी वो पेरेंट्स से नहीं खुल के कुछ बोल पा रही हैं, टीचर से डिबेट और डिस्कशंस उनके होते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी वो सोल्यूशन नहीं निकल पा रहा है। तो जहां हम आज 2020 मार्च से ये प्रॉब्लम को फेस कर रहे हैं, आज हम 2021 जनवरी में आ गए हैं। सरकार का जो बजट था वो इस साल 2021 के लिए सिर्फ 3.2% है जीडीपी, पूरे जीडीपी का, जो कि एजुकेशन बजट इस वक्त 6% होना चाहिए ऑफ द जीडीपी। तो सरकार एकदम आधे पे काम कर रही है। न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी को रोल किया है लेकिन अभी इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुई है, पॉलिसी का ढांचा बन चुका है। तो क्या ये खुद सरकार के लिए भी समझने की बात है कि अगर आप आज ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, पेरेंट्स के लिए, टीचर्स के लिए कर रहे हो, इस सिचुएशन से बाहर आने के लिए, जहां हम अभी भी बहुत सी सारी चीजें फॉलो कर रहे हैं, बाहर नहीं जा रहे हैं, मास्क लगा रहे हैं, स्कूल नहीं जा रहे हैं, इन सब के बीच में जहां पर वाईफाई का बिल, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल, और जहां पर हम डिवाइसेस और गैजेट्स खरीद रहे हैं बच्चों के लिए, तो ये एक तरफ तो जॉब लॉस है, एक तरफ पे कट्स है। सो इंडिया इस वक्त जिस सिचुएशन से जा रहा है फाइनेंशियली, हर एक इंसान स्ट्रगल कर रहा है सिचुएशन से बाहर आने के लिए, लेकिन हमने चैलेंजेस और चेंजेस को एक्सेप्ट करते हुए आज अपने बच्चों को एजुकेशन मुहैया कराया ऑनलाइन। लेकिन ये सेटिस्फाइंग नहीं है। इस पर आपका क्या कहना है कि ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन अभी भी एक चैलेंज है इंडिया के लिए?
धन्यवाद। मेरी आवाज आप सब लोगों को
जी,
सुनाई देती होगी, ऐसा मैं अपेक्षा करता हूँ।
जी सर, सुनाई दे रही है।
अभी आपने बिल्कुल सही सवाल उठाया है। ये जो कोरोना का समय है, इस समय हम देशवासियों को पता चला कि हमने किस इशू के ऊपर काम करना चाहिए। हमारी गवर्नमेंट की प्रायोरिटीज क्या होनी चाहिए। क्योंकि एजुकेशन और हेल्थ, ये दो इशू जो है, इनके ऊपर अगर गवर्नमेंट काम नहीं करती तो अमेरिका के पास बहुत पैसा है, बहुत वेपन्स है, लेकिन दवाइयां नहीं थी। अमेरिका में सबसे ज्यादा लोगों की मौत हो गई। ब्रिटेन, ये सब जो कंट्रीज है वो पूरे वर्ल्ड के ऊपर राज करने वाली कंट्रीज को भी हेल्थ के बारे में सोचना पड़ा। लेकिन इंडिया में आज भी आरटी कानून आया हुआ है, 2009 में ये देश को लागू हुआ है। आरटी आने के तहत ये कानून कहता है कि सभी फिजिकल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो है, फैसिलिटी जो है स्कूल की, वो गवर्नमेंट ने देनी चाहिए। बच्चे खाली स्कूल आएंगे, बच्चों को किताबें, बच्चों को मिड डे मील, बच्चों को अच्छी स्कूल, बच्चों को स्वच्छ पानी, क्लीन टॉयलेट्स, ये सब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आरटी कानून के तहत गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर है। 1 साल हुआ है, गवर्नमेंट ने कौन सी बच्चों के लिए फिजिकल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली है, कौन सी साधन सुविधा मुहैया की है? एक भी नहीं की है। हम आज डिजिटल एक्सेस और नेट एक्सेस की बात कर रहे हैं। मैं लोकल बोर्ड के स्कूल की अगर बात करूं, मैं मुंबई में पढ़ाता हूं, फिर भी मेरे स्कूल इंग्लिश मीडियम का एडेड स्कूल है। अगर मैं मेरे स्कूल की भी बात करूं तो आज भी मेरे स्कूल में 30% बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो आज एक दिन भी डिजिटल एजुकेशन नहीं कर पाए। तो ये मुंबई में 30% बच्चे एजुकेशन के बाहर है, 1 साल में एक बार भी वो ऑनलाइन नहीं आए हुए। और हमारे जो बीएमसी स्कूल है, मुंबई की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, उसमें करीबन 57% बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो आज भी ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन में नहीं है। जो बीएमसी का एजुकेशन का बजट 2400 करोड़ है, ओनली एजुकेशन, 35,000 का उसका ईयरली बजट है, 66,000 करोड़ की उनकी फिक्स डिपॉजिट है। वो बीएमसी भी अपने बच्चों को, करीबन मुझे लगता है 1,88,000 बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं बीएमसी स्कूल में, और वो नीचे तबके के बच्चे हैं। उनके लिए भी उन्होंने ना मोबाइल फोन, ना नेट एक्सेस, कुछ भी अवेलेबल नहीं कर। जब तक गवर्नमेंट इसके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं लेगी तो डिजिटल इंडिया एक ख्वाब रहेगा, वो सक्सेस नहीं हो पाएगा। हम किसके एजुकेशन के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, किसके एजुकेशन के बारे में सोच रहे हैं? जिन बच्चों के पास सभी एक्सेस है, उनको डिजिटल एजुकेशन की जरूरत नहीं, वो घर में बैठ के सब ले सकते हैं। लेकिन जिनको शिक्षा की जरूरत है, जिनके घर में फर्स्ट जनरेशन एजुकेशन पढ़ रही है, उनके लिए हमारे गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया? एक सिंगल रुपया नहीं दिया है। उल्टा इस कोरोना इसमें गवर्नमेंट ने
So Neha,
आधे से भी कम कर दिया है।
So Neha, according to what Jalinder Sarode sir is saying, Neha, I would like to come back to you, Neha. Mumbai Municipal Corporation is considered to be one of the richest corporation of the world. And if Mumbai is facing such crisis where its own BMC funded school is not able to teach their children, BMC school children, so what do we expect from whole of the country?
Seema, it's very surprising for me to hear this, honestly, because as I said, I have students who have got access to everything. And you know, there is a program in every IB school, we call it the CAS program, where the S stands for service. And every IB school is supposed to do service for the community. I don't understand where are we lacking and where have we missed this opportunity where every IB school should be attached to one BMC school during this online crisis, where the IB school takes the responsibility of BMC school and provides them whatever extra resources they already have with them. And that could be the only solution I can think of, because we don't know when this is ending. We've been going on. Now, sir is saying that they've not had classes, which is a very, I seem to not fit here on this, because my students have not missed one day of class. We as teachers have not taken one leave because we are at home. So there are no leaves allowed to us. So the whole point is that if there's such a huge gap here, why not use this class for them? And when we get credits, we get grades for students if we do service for the community. Then why not attach one end to the other and use it wisely? I just feel there has to be someone to do it. But there are definitely opportunities available. And I also would like to tell Sadia here, I don't think from my perspective, it was her responsibility to speak to her parents. But her teachers, the education board, her whole school management should have held the full responsibility to educate the parents for this online world. I feel sad that she couldn't speak to her parents and let them know the exact reality.
So Neha, this is what we are talking, that there is a big divide between regions, between languages, between state, because India is not only about Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore.
Absolutely.
It is all about why we call it urban and rural. Why still we are living in two things, ek India hai, ek Bharat hai. So this gap has to be bridged by the government, by the new education policy. Still, the question remains, is India still prepared? I feel no, India is not prepared. So let's take on Parul Deval Handa. She's counseling psychologist and arts-based therapist. She handles a lot of situation wherein she has been able to guide people who are suffering from stress, who are not able to handle depression, anxiety, and they have issues, people who have issues with self-esteem and relationship. She has worked in many different settings, corporates, NGOs, orphanage, colleges, child and adult mental health clinics. She uses an electric approach based on the client's comfort and believes that everyone is resilient and has the ability to heal and grow. So here we would like to ask Parulji that, ma'am, you've been listening. I hope Parulji is there with us.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I can hear you, Parulji, and thanks for joining us. Well, you've listened Sandeep Dattaji. She is a parent. You've listened Neha. She's a teacher. You've listened Sadia, a student. Jalinder Sarodi sir, again a teacher. But one thing, when I heard about Jalinder Sarodi sir, that being in Mumbai, being the BMC, the richest corporation of the world, and if such corporation is not able to deliver, then what do we expect from rest of the country? Where is the government lagging? What are the policymakers doing? We have a beautiful policy on paper, but it seems it's really tough to get implemented in coming days to come. And if, I hope, this conversation, this discussion reaches to the right ear, they will understand what is the ground reality, what is the ground problem. So ma'am, here, how do you take this entire situation from March 2020, where the schools got shut, universities were shut, we were locked in homes, we were planning our ways to work from home, to study from home, to January 2021, where we are discussing that is India still prepared?
So hi everyone. I hear to all of you. I've heard all of you speaking, and the one emotion which I can feel when all of you spoke is the irritation, and there is a lot of anger. There is a lot of anger that why are we in this situation altogether? Why as a parent I have to struggle with the connecting with the Wi-Fi, and I'm taking that pressure of my child. As a teacher, I can't take a single leave. As a so there is so much of pressure we all are going through, and I think so. As a practitioner of mental health, I think so. 2020 has been very difficult times for all of us, and first time people have realized that there is something called mental health, because till that time there was just a physical health, and you should have a cough, cold, and fever, and there is nothing like a mental health. But because we are all stuck at the small houses and we are on the face of each other, we realize that, oh, there is something called a mental health, which is equally important. I'll come back to the point of education, and as you spoke that we need to also communicate all these things to the authorities. We'll come back to the what exactly is education? What is our definition of education? Is it just delivering a specific content and just teaching and doing that maths and teaching that maths problems on the screen, on there is a communication between a teacher and student. There is a different rapport which each individual, each student have with their classmates. And as a mental health practitioner, when I'm seeing so many different population and different students and different age group, I can feel that there is a lack, there is a lot of loneliness, there is a lot of feeling that I don't belong, I don't have someone to share, someone to, because it's just I'm sitting in front of a screen and my nephew tells me, what is the point of the whole thing? I just have to study and submit the homework. I don't get to see my friends, I don't get to laugh with them, I don't get anything. What is the point of this whole school? So that's what exactly mean. What is the point of the whole thing? Why are we doing it? And are we really taking too much pressure of completing the portion and teaching the things which are there in the portion and lacking this small thing and not adaptable to this whole change? Because we are still into this structure of this much portion has to be covered. We haven't changed anything of our patterns, though we have to change from the schools to the digital world. We didn't change of what exactly we are going to teach. Do we really need to teach so much, such a vast curriculum online, or can we decrease it to some other level, which is very important? Because as we say that we are generalizing this digital platform to everyone, but which is not true, because there are a lot of people, I should say 80% of the population don't have access to it. We are generalizing that every child has a space to sit and study, which is not true. In Mumbai, maybe 5 or 6 people are staying in a 10 by 10 room, and which is not possible for me to sit here and concentrate. At the same time, where the teachers are sending me just videos, I need to study on my own. Not every child has the motivation to go back and sit there and have that concentration. So there is so much of generalization, there is so much of decided patterns which is just getting delivered, and we are not understanding what exactly a student want in all that. It is, we are the one who are dictating, and we are the one who deciding that this portion has to be done, these many things has to be done, the pattern is something like that. The Because one of the student tells me that, ma'am, it's very difficult to study on your own. It's very easy when the teacher is sitting in front of you in the classroom and you have to work, but over here I have a computer in front of me, teacher has sent me the video, I get it that I need to see the video and study, but I can see a Facebook, I can see a YouTube, and I get it. It's very difficult for a child who is like a teenager to have that motivation, because we need to understand all these things. And it has also happened that because of the lot of use of this platform, because my child, I have a child who is like a 5-year-old, we never gave him any screen, but because of the this online schooling we had to, he has discovered so much. And thankfully he has discovered things, because we are there, we are monitoring him. But I do come across a lot of parents who have to go to the work because the offices have started, and they're worried that what exactly a child is accessing when they're not there, because everything is open on the internet, because all these issues are equally important. And I feel the parents stress is also there, because as a so the another scenario is, my driver was telling me that my 7-year-old, what I don't know, ma'am, what exactly she's learning. Her mom is sitting in front of the screen and she's writing down what what the teacher is saying, and the child is roaming around the whole house, which is there.
So Parul ji, what we understand from what you are trying to tell us, that the scene remains the same. Like whatever we used to get projects and assignments in classroom, the same projects and assignments are given online. The same kind of chalk and blackboard what teacher used to write in class, the same is happening right now. That camera is fixed, a teacher is writing on blackboard, and this is how we are learning online. But this is not online way of learning.
Yeah,
There
but I
has to
will
be.
appreciate that lot of schools, like I'm sure my child's school or Oberoi International, they have incorporated lot of things, like lot of quiz. They are making it very interesting, but I'm sure it is not everyone.
No, not
It's not
everyone, because
generalized to the every population, and not
exactly. So
and
my question here is that if we are going online, if education is going digital, the content should be also according to the digital requirement. It
I
can't be the
feel because
same.
there is so much of pressure which everyone is taking. The child is taking, the parent is taking, the teacher is taking. And for what? Why this is so much of pressure? And
And the
no one
screen
is
time,
happy. And the
the
screen time.
mention, yeah, the
Yeah.
screen time has increased gradually, unknowingly, where we used to tell our child that please, you're not going to touch the phone. You're going to limit your television screen time. Now, opposite is happening. Did you check your homework? Are you joining your class? So the screen time, 3 hours, 4 hours, they are on screen classroom. Then they are doing their work. Again, back to
The lack of social contact, which is so important as a child.
so here
It is
I want
so
to
important
again
to
bring
discuss
in.
with a peer group. Yeah.
Yes. So here again, I want to bring in Jalinder Sarode, sir. That, sir, what is the solution? Like Neha, she told that why not IB school get connected with BMC schools and help out in delivering lectures online. So what are the solutions that you think there has to be for online education, which is so uneven across India?
ऑनलाइन ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन ये मेन स्ट्रीम का एजुकेशन नहीं है. इट इज अ सपोर्टिव एजुकेशन. जब तक बच्चे टीचर्स के सामने आते नहीं है तब तक एजुकेशन नाम की प्रोसेस होती नहीं है. नहीं तो यूट्यूब के ऊपर देखकर भी बच्चे सीख सकते हैं. अभी इसके ऊपर सॉल्यूशन क्या है? इसके ऊपर सॉल्यूशन ये है कि गवर्नमेंट का बजट बढ़ना चाहिए एजुकेशन के ऊपर, जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी नहीं बढ़ा रही है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी नहीं बढ़ा रही है. मौलाना अब्दुल कलाम आजाद भारत के पहले शिक्षा मंत्री थे. उन्होंने और कोठारी कमीशन ने भी कहा था कि एजुकेशन के ऊपर हमें 6% जीडीपी के ऊपर खर्चा करना चाहिए. लेकिन वहां से आज तक एक भी गवर्नमेंट ने 6% तक की खर्चा करने की हिम्मत दिखाई नहीं. जब तक गवर्नमेंट की प्रायोरिटी एजुकेशन होती नहीं है, हेल्थ होती नहीं है, तभी तक ये जो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन होंगे या फिजिकल एजुकेशन होंगे, इसके सामने के जो चैलेंजेस है वो रहेंगे. तो मुझे लगता है गवर्नमेंट ने सबसे पहले एजुकेशन के ऊपर का खर्चा बढ़ाना चाहिए. यदि वो 6% के नजदीक भी जाएंगे, 5% भी जाएंगे, तो इस देश का एक भी बच्चा, पैसा नहीं है, फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, मोबाइल नहीं है, इंटरनेट एक्सेस नहीं है, इसके लिए एजुकेशन सिस्टम के बाहर नहीं रहेगा. यदि खर्चा गवर्नमेंट नहीं बढ़ाएगी, वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के हाथ में सभी चीजें देंगी, तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि हम हमारे देश के बच्चों को सही शिक्षा दे पाएंगे. सभी बच्चों को नहीं दे पाएंगे. कुछ बच्चों को तो कौन से भी परिस्थिति में शिक्षा मिल रही है, लेकिन जिनके लिए शिक्षा का जरूरी है, उनके लिए अगर गवर्नमेंट को ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन देना है तो उनके लिए उनको मोबाइल भी देना पड़ेगा, इंटरनेट डाटा भी देना पड़ेगा. इसके आगे कोरोना जैसे कोई स्थिति उत्पन्न हुई तो हमारे पास इतनी कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए. हमारे हर जगह पे लाइब्रेरीज होनी चाहिए, बड़े बड़े हॉल्स होने चाहिए जहां हमें बच्चों को इंटरनेट दे सकते हैं और बच्चे वहां जाके, जिनके घर में एक्सेस नहीं है तो लेकिन वहां जाके वो पढ़ सकते हैं, नेट यूज कर सकते हैं. ऐसी कुछ फैसिलिटीज हमें देनी पड़ेगी.
Right, sir. So basically, वही जो basic point है, it's all boils down to the right kind of online education that government now needs to understand that what problem parents, teachers, students are facing, what problem is dividing India online education, the restoration of internet across the country when India faces different climate changes, like every state has a different climate change. Sometimes there is flood, sometimes there is snow, sometimes there is excessive kind of inconvenience due to power failure. So there are so many points that a government has to keep in mind. And if government is thinking about online education, if the schools are thinking about online education, they need to rethink again on all the patterns, that where are they falling short? What is the solution? So solution right now, what we understood is, one of the best solution that came from Neha was, why not IB schools get joined with the BMC schools at this situation to handle a few things that a little few could change. But overall, the scene is really very tough. It looks very tough and challenging for the national education policy makers also. This pandemic has come as an eye opener for everyone, that how can we prepare ourselves for the worst situation, because we always think only for the best. As of now, we all are thinking that the school should reopen, vaccination drive is on dry run is on drive. So a lot of things, good things are happening around, but are we still prepared for the digital education? So here, Gurupal, should I start? Yes, why not? Just take 2 minutes, sir, to speak. You can go ahead.
Yeah, lots of thanks to each and everyone. Neha ma'am takes the most difficult subject to teach in online teaching, because when we teach in front of the students also, mathematical concepts take more time to be understood. And I would definitely connect with Amreen ma'am after this session. I was added to this group while I was doing COVID-19 duty at Khar. So I belong to the same corporation which took lots of efforts to gain our Mumbai back to slowly to the normal condition. Still our schools are closed. Funding, political willingness, all these things can be handled, but professionally I am a teacher. I have been working with poor kids in Bandra, and I belong to public sector in a corporation school. Neha ma'am suggested a strong point, but at the same time there will be a issue, because BMC runs school in almost 8 languages, not only one or two. So if IB schools will take over, collaborate with BMC schools also, the number of BMC schools in English medium will be more than the IB schools in Mumbai. So here are few points where we can think of, we can bring it out. But I'll again get back to Amreen ma'am. I'll definitely try to meet her, call her, and then connect, because I think the solution is near to us. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Also, in between all these things, when we are talking about online studies for school, colleges, university, one more point to think for all of us collectively and our government, that what about the special children who are specially disabled, who are physically, mentally not so able to study on online classes? What provision is for them? For those students who are facing dyslexia, dysgraphia, inability to write, understand, read, are there any special provision for online classes? Are there any provision for such students? Are there any specially trained teachers who can teach them online? So a lot of solutions, lot of things, lot of discussions happening every day. We are listening everywhere. But today the discussion that happened over here on our platform with the Universal Reach Foundation, I thank Amreen ji for this discussion. I thank each and every panelist, Dr. Tandeep Kaur Datta for us joining from Jammu, Neha, Jalinder sir, Parul ji, all of us, and Asadia, of course, the student. So all of us need to understand that what the solutions are. Solutions are that first, the government has to increase its budget for education. Education online, how it will happen, because this pandemic was an eye opener for all of us. So will this pandemic give a lesson to all the people who are deciding on policy, that how the online education will go? Second is India. If you look at one India, you have to look at one education. You have to look at one internet power supply everywhere. Like recently we saw in Punjab how the poles were burned down, they were brought down, the mobile towers were brought down. There were a lot of problems in Punjab. I happen to speak to a few students from there who say that we are not studying anything since we have no connectivity. So India is such a big country. where there are multiple level issues happening every day. But the very important issue is education is the foundation for everything. It helps us to just push off our ignorance, go ahead and get achievements in life. So education is primary, it's need, and online is the situation and the challenge that we all are facing today, and how this online will help us to reach our goals if the situation continues to be like this. So a lot of things to think on it, a lot of solutions.
Seema, I would just like to add a point if possible.
Yes, Neha, go ahead.
I have to say Ms. Parul brought out this point that the curriculum flexibility is in demand. It has to be done. I don't know when. I hope this reaches to the government and it reaches everywhere possible, that the GDP, we have to increase the percentage spent on education. But for the current scenario, an immediate action which is needed is cutting down the curriculum that we are teaching. The teachers are struggling on it, struggling, trust me, because we have been given a portion to finish. And if we don't do that, we are the ones who are facing from all the sides, the students and the teachers. So that, again, coming back to well-being of the resources, it has to be insisted the exams get cancelled and we do have formative assessments, and the curriculum, the portion has to be cut down for all years. I'm talking about for a kindergarten child to a grade 12 child. It's not fair on anyone.
Also, Neha, India being multilinguistic, a lot of languages are spoken here. So if we talk about online education, and if we are talking, so online education also needs to go multilingual, multilingual, and also understanding the importance of every special child, every privileged child, every poor child. So you can't, education has never divided itself on any specific front. But today, the reality is that yes, education is dividing us. Education has divided us. Online education is dividing us. So I think the solution is that the government has to sit, understand, bring out the budget, a kind and a generous budget, understand that the content has to be according to online education and not the rota style, not the classroom style. If you are really thinking that India is going digital, so is Indian education also going digital? Is it a really smooth way of learning and educating and imparting lessons? So content, language, also needs for child, and also the health issues that teachers and child and parents are facing. Also should not forget that each and every parent, each and every individual in the country is going through a lot of financial crisis. So somewhere the government has to understand that can they help the parents if the fees is being little bit reduced more to what we are paying right now. So solutions, because there are many parents who are posting in questions that what about the fees? Because if everything is going online, we are not using school resources, infrastructure, then why so much of fees? This is the main concern for parents. Of course, even the school needs to pay to the teacher, maintain the school, because even the school is hoping that when the crisis gets over, the school will start and students will come back. Till then, solution is what we are hoping for. Back to you, Sagar and Amrin.
Yes, thank you very much, Seema ma'am, for conducting this session very nicely, and absolutely from Universal Reach Foundation. I am very thankful to Ms. Parul, Nehaji, Jalinder Sarode sir, Dr. Tandeep ma'am, and Sadia, because you all are expertise in your subject, in your area, and you shared your views on this platform. एंड यही बात होनी है कि हम जब अलग अलग नजरिए से जब सोचते हैं तो एक पूरा पिक्चर हमारे सामने आता है. सो ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट के बीच में की जो ग्रे शेड्स होती है वो बहुत सारी शेड्स हमें आज पेरेंट्स की तरफ से, टीचर्स की तरफ से, साइकोलॉजिस्ट की तरफ से हमें आज समझ में आई है. बिकॉज वी वर वेरी हैप्पी आज दैट मैम वाज, नेहा मैम वाज सेइंग कि वी आर सिटिंग इन द मिडल ऑफ बॉम्बे, बट पीपल हु आर सिटिंग इन द जम्मू कश्मीर, दे आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम ऑफ 2G. We are enjoying 3G and 4G. We have connection facility all the time, 24/7. But the people, students from that area. So one of my friend, he is from Kashmir. So he was telling कि उनका online education के बाद बच्चे झाड़ों पर बैठते हैं. और कभी स्कूल है कभी नहीं है। अगर बर्फबारी अभी हो रही है तो बाहर निकलने का चांस ही नहीं, घर में तो रेंज ही नहीं। तो हम डिजिटल डिवाइड की बात हुई, उसके साथ साथ सोशल डिवाइड की बात होती है, इकोनॉमिकल डिवाइड की बात अपनी आज प्लेटफॉर्म पे हुई, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी पर अपनी बात हुई। मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारे डायमेंशंस पे अपनी बात हुई और शायद से ये सभी बात आगे जाकर गवर्नमेंट और जो पॉलिसी मेकर्स है उनके पास अगर ये पहुंचती है तो शायद से एक अच्छा उसमें से एक आउटपुट आएगा और पॉलिसी मेकिंग में उनको भी एक मुझे लगता है कि मदद होगी, हमें भी मदद होगी समझने में, करने में। एंड वंस अगेन वेरी थैंक यू टू एवरीवन, आज के जितने स्पीकर्स थे एंड जितने रिस्पोंडेंट्स, जितने व्यूवर्स यहाँ आए थे, उनको भी बहुत तहे दिल से मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। एंड वंस अगेन विश यू वेरी हैप्पी न्यू ईयर एंड कोरोना फ्री लाइफ में हम एक दूसरे के सामने बैठकर ये सब कुछ चीजें आने वाले टाइम में डिस्कस करेंगे। यही आशा के साथ यही रुकते हैं। चैट बॉक्स में फीडबैक फॉर्म की लिंक दी गई है, प्लीज गो थ्रू दैट एंड अपने कुछ रिमार्क्स है, अपनी कुछ सोच है, सो प्लीज शेयर विद अस। थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीवन।